one thing about working with clients as a freelancer is you have to work with clients. That sounds silly, I know, but let me tell you what I mean. Welcome to episode 14 of my Nap Trap series, where I'm posting every day on YouTube a little behind the scenes about motherhood, getting my creativity back, talking about starting a business, being a freelancer, life on the farm in Saudi Arabia, and more. So if any of those topics sound interesting to you, hit the follow, hit the subscribe button, and see where these 30 days take us. But today I wanted to talk about finding and working with clients. I have a digital marketing agency, and while in total honesty, I haven't worked with a ton of clients, paid clients. I've done a few pro bono projects that actually I'm really excited about. That's actually one thing that, whether for me was getting started, I just want to have a bit of a proper portfolio of work that I've done, or it's friends that have started businesses that I'm excited to help. But or the limiting beliefs of actually charging money for a service that you provide, all part of starting your own business. But I will say, working freelance or starting your own business, you really are in charge of not only finding clients, but knowing what type of client actually fits your vibe that you want, like who you want to work with, how long you want to work with them, what you're willing to put up with, shall we say. And that all depends on where you are in the stage of building, I guess. For me, let's see, I'll talk about a couple projects that I've done pro bono and why I loved them and how that helps me shape what type of client I would want to work with in the future, as well as some red flags I've run into that either are learning lessons or why I haven't worked with a client. So the first project, like real web design project that I worked on, was a nonprofit back in Minneapolis, and I'm actually so proud of this website. And it is for an organization that does incredible work with families who one of the parents has cancer. So it's for an incredible cause as well. If you want to check out the website, it is mnangel.org. I built the entire thing myself. Again, very, very proud of it. So not only does the organization do well, but in helping them update their website, we did a total overhaul. It actually has made a huge impact for the beneficiaries, people that are looking to get help, looking how to connect, how to maybe, sign up for any of their programs. It really has had a ripple effect, and the organization sends feedback and sends along, anytime that they get testimonials about how the website has been really easy to navigate and has helped their constituents. They pass along that feedback. So not only am I proud of the website build itself, it really is fulfilling in that way. Now, this client, they had an older website on WordPress, and I can do a whole another thing about why I don't like WordPress and the actual development side of things. But when I was first approached about doing an update, or first it was kind of a refresh, and then I had a look at it, and I don't do WordPress, and I was like, look, if if I'm going to do anything, I'm going to completely rebuild this site and put it, host it somewhere else. And the CRM is going to be through Cloud Cannon. Like this is how I work. And it actually is going to be less money for you in the long run. You're not going to have to pay for the plugins and the security that WordPress needs and blah, blah, blah. So, actually it's going to be cutting costs for you. But it's going to be a change. And we're going to totally redo everything. Then, to get started, I had some of their team members send me different websites that they liked as inspiration, what they liked specifically about them, and websites they didn't like, what they, specifics that they didn't, what didn't resonate. And that's always interesting to see what things grab different people's attention. And especially coming from a non-development background, for people to say like, I like this website. Why? Because of the colors, or the buttons are easy to find, or I like that everything moves in and out and it feels very interactive. Different people are going to have different things that they like about the website or a website. So I took all this feedback, I compiled it, and I was just so excited about the project that I did a whole design in Figma right away. Now I work on a component base, so you kind of make these little Lego blocks, shall we say, and you can create, these different blocks and use them to build the pages. So you can build out a full website pretty fast if you build reusable components in like a smart way, right? So pretty quickly I had a mock-up of most of the pages that they already had on their current website. And one of the things that the team had said was really difficult for them was that it was really hard to truly like customize things, or have control over stuff. So I also built in, a lot of flexibility while still keeping like the theme and the color scheme and the font sizes, like everything for the brand continuity was still rigid. Like you're not gonna accidentally make something look bad. That's not possible. But can you flip which side pictures are on? Can you change the colors of the buttons? Can you easily move things around? Yes. So I had done this design and showed it to the team, and right away everyone was so excited. Like that, I think, felt like a bit of a unicorn of a first big project that I was able to run with the design. Now, of course, there's obviously planning and input from the beginning from the team, but once they saw my design, there was hardly any feedback other than positive feedback. This looks great, let's go. And I started building it out right away. So that, was, again, a bit of a unicorn case, to not have so much back and forth about, design and colors and what goes in. I didn't do any of the content. That specifically I left up to the organization. And it took a little time to build, took time to get the content in. You do have to kind of revise once you have the actual content versus lorem ipsum like placeholder text. So it did take a bit of time to build out this full project. But now that it's running, I also have, a retainer contract with them. just in case they need any help with things. If there's some things that they don't have access to changing, like up on the navigation panel, if they want to change any of the buttons or how those are laid out or what's in the drop downs, I'm still the one that has to do that. But overall, I'm doing just basic checks of the website, and we've been working really well together. It has been a great project overall. So go check it out. I am pretty proud, and it's a great organization. Then in terms of photography, I've done 2 pro bono photography shoots, and one of them was right after my photography course in Bali. I had a friend that had just purchased a cafe in Bali. So I was like, wait a minute, I am here. It's like a team that they had purchased with, or, there's multiple owners. So my friend was actually based in Dubai. So I was like, and she was running their social media. So I was like, let me go capture some content for you. I'll get to practice my food photography and see what it's really like to, shoot at a restaurant when people are coming and going, see what kind of content I can get for you. This will be fun for me. And so I went and did that. I will say I had put together a bit of a mood board, and had just been doing a ton of photography from the boot camp, but there was a little less planning with the point person of the restaurant itself. So in terms of like what exactly they were hoping for, or what exactly, what dishes I'm shooting, smoothies, what, who's coming, are we having model contracts for your friends that are coming, things like that. It was a bit more laid back than a super professional shoot, which ended up being, still great. Got a lot of content, still had a lot of fun. The food was amazing. So I think in terms of like starting work, that was a good, figuring out like, okay, it was brought to me through a friend, but still a semi-professional shoot in that, I didn't officially know the owner that was going to be there. So just, I think if I were to go back to iron out a few more details, especially in restaurant photography, where you're shooting food, and if you've got dishes and multiple dishes, or, you want to show the liveliness of what a restaurant looks like when it's full, and, there'd just be some logistics I would look over before the actual shoot day. And I had 2 of my friends come for the beginning of the shoot, which was really nice because they also got to have a little bit of like, let's see what it looks like to be at a restaurant, and help me, and just a little bit calm the nerves of a first shoot kind of idea. Then one of the other pro bono shoots I did was a maternity shoot here in AlUla for one of my friends. She was about, I think, 7 months pregnant, and it was so cute. That was one of those that I was like, wait a minute, working with couples, working with people at such a special point of, their lifetime. It's your first baby. Any sort of pregnancy story is, such a special thing to capture, and especially here in AlUla, like they live here. This is such a special place. We did it in the Oasis, which is absolutely beautiful. the dad was a bit camera shy, and at first, when we were talking about doing the shoot, at first he wasn't so interested. He was like, I love the idea, obviously, you guys go have fun. I don't need to be in the photos. And then me and my friend, his wife, were like, no, you're gonna be in the photos, you're the dad, you know? So that was fun working with them and, you know, making everyone feel comfortable and not shy on camera. We both had come up with mood boards, which, funny enough, were pretty similar. So we had, you know, the same kind of track and idea. Again, she's a friend, so she said if there's any shots that I wanted to try, definitely she was more than willing to like do extra. So it was just a fun shoot in general. And interesting from when I was working in Bali with models, you know, models who know their angles or know different poses or are used to being in front of the camera versus regular people, shall we say, who aren't used to being in front of the camera or, you know, if anything, don't like to be in front of the camera, you know, how to get people comfortable and have poses in mind and, you know, be able to show the mood board and get everyone comfortable. So that was really fun. And they loved their photos. I loved their photos. It was really great. So, yeah. Let's see. I feel like mom brain moment. Again, sometimes I feel like I start these videos with one idea and they end up in a different way, but hopefully you got something out of this if you've made it to the end of this video. Thanks for tuning in. As always, I'm always so excited to see how many, you know, people have watched, if there's any comments or anything. So let me know maybe if you have worked with clients and what your favorite or your ideal client is. I'll see you tomorrow.